Hey everybody. So for this video, I really want to talk about because I wanted to make this video a while back and I didn't get around to it. But I really want to take this video to really talk about um, film endings that people kind of forgot about. Film endings that that are really good that a lot of people either talk about or they forgot about them. And so this video is kind of giving those movies justice, kind of looking back on those films and really kind of acknowledging the endings that these directors provided for them. So this video is all about kind of reminding people of some really great endings that maybe they didn't quite think about before watching this video. So the first film I have on my list is Mrs. Doubtfire. I thought it was a great ending. Um, if you haven't seen any of these films, I apologize, but I just really got to talk about some of these endings because they are really very good if you think about them. But Mrs. Doubtfire had a just a really good way to wrap things up. It was just definitely an ending that reminded you that this film was all about, it was all about the lightheartedness, all about, kind of what life is about, and kind of how Mrs. Doubtfire really got this guy's life around. Kind of, it really brought it back, and it was just a really powerful ending. When you really go back and look at it, it kind of summed up the movie well. It kind of told you everything the film was about. Kind of like a good ending paragraph to a research paper. It just kind of gave you everything that the paper was about. So Mrs. Doubtfire, I thought had a really good ending, and it's really too bad not a lot of people talk about it because I think it's just a really good ending to a movie. Another one, actually, I do hear a little bit more so than Mrs. Doubtfire, but once again, though, I just don't hear a lot of people talking about it. It's definitely one of those things where they talk about a certain scene in the movie, or they just talk about the movie itself, but they don't really talk about the ending. Is the original Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. Just my boy would never hurt a fly. You see the car being dug up. Um, I just thought that ending was just so. It was just so Norman Bates, and that's definitely once again kind of like with Mrs. Doubtfire. It just kind of ended the movie on a good note. It definitely, gave us the Norman Bates that we wanted. Definitely creeped us out. Definitely left us in the. I'm sure the people who saw that movie back in the theater were just really creeped out as they were walking out of it. Just another movie ending that just really, like I said, just kind of sums up the movie you watched in a very good way. Definitely leaves you leave that movie on a good note. Um, Another good ending, and this is an ending that actually not a lot of people like, but it's one of those endings where the more you think about it and the older you get and the more you understand this film, and even if you read the book also, you'll definitely get the ending more so than the people who just saw the movie, is No Country for Old Men. A lot of people didn't like the ending, like, oh, that was the worst movie ever made, I don't get it. But if you really think about it, that ending was about the Tommy Lee Jones sheriff coming to conclusion that he was getting older and he was realizing that he was getting older. He was realizing that as time went on, it was harder to catch these criminals that are, up to date, current, not his time period. Because basically, from what I got of the book and from what I got from the Coen's movie, is that the ending scene was him talking about this dream that he had, and that dream helped him realize once again that he was getting old, that there isn't a country for old men, that to kind of stay up to date and be the sheriff that's always going to catch the bad guy and go home on a good note. You gotta, stay up to pace. You gotta know what all the weapons are. You gotta know where these villains hide out. You gotta know where, you gotta make sure all the pieces are together in order to catch this guy. And because the Tommy Lee Jones character didn't understand this criminal very well, because he was a very unique criminal, which actually got him an Oscar award. He had a very different way of thinking than other criminals had, and that was basically saying, "Then I woke up." That was his line saying that, he woke up and realized that this guy he's never going to catch. He's too old. He's, basically he came to the realization that he's never going to catch this guy. And to me, it's one of those endings where it just kind of represents kind of the value in realizing kind of where you are in life, I guess. And because, it's kind of unfortunate that he is too old to catch this criminal now. It just kind of the film was being honest with itself, and I think that's one reason why I like that ending of that film so much. Um, Shallow Hal is another film, you guys. I just felt that that was just so powerful at the end. Where once again, if you haven't seen the film, make sure you do. Um, where Hal really told Rosemary how he felt about her. He said, I'm a terrible person. I messed up. I that he basically he was telling her what was deep in his heart, and I felt that not only did that film get that message across, I felt that it ended on it remembered it was a comedy. It remembered it was a kind of everything that happened in the film previously, with her and the ex-boyfriend and Jason Alexander's tale. They continue what was that from earlier in the movie. And another film ending where people don't really talk about it, and I really wish they did. And I would even go so far as to say Shallow Hal is a film that not a lot of people talk about. And it's really too bad because even though there is a lot of themes and messages in it that might be offensive to some people, I think it does kind of reflect how some people really think. And I think it's really too bad that people look back at the Farley brothers' career. It's once again not a film that not a lot of people talk about. And I know there's something about Mary's kind of their big movie next to Dumb and Dumber and all that stuff. But I think Shallow Hal, as far as messages go, is definitely one of the Farley brothers' more powerful movies. Um, Spider-Man 3 is another one, but once again, though, not a lot of people like it, so thus, not a lot of people are going to talk about the ending or anything. I always like the line, we always have the power to do what's right, and I also like how, um, if you really examine the ending with Peter and Mary Jane dancing at the cafe near the end of the film, it really kind of represents that Peter is non-verbally saying to Mary Jane, "I don't know where our lives are going," and I think that's kind of people will look at that and like, "Oh, that's just stupid." Um, but really think about it. I mean, we really don't know where life goes. We don't know, if we're going to lose our job 5 years from now. We don't know if we're going to, have a marriage that works. We don't know if, you know, a black symbiote and Sandman and all these things that happened in that movie are all going to happen to us all at once. And to me, it's the ending is just so powerful, and it really reflects the film you just watched so well. And once again, it's really too bad that not a lot of people view Spider-Man 3 as a good film, because I really think it was a good film. If you took out, really think about this, if you took out the scene with Tobey Maguire in that dance scene, and I'll admit that was pretty stupid. Um, and if you took out the scene where he got really goofy when he started wearing the whole emo outfit from the Black Symbiote that later became Venom with Topher Grace, um, if you took all that out, those two scenes out, and if they improved or got rid of the Sandman subplot altogether, the film could have been great. We could have had the Venom we always wanted. We could have had, a great conclusion with Green Goblin and Harry Osborn. There's just so many things about Spider-Man 3 that I really wish people went back and really examined it, because I think because Sam Raimi was just so pushed to do so much with it, I think it was just one of those things where all three parties, the Green Goblin party, the Sandman party, the Venom party, the conclusion, the people who just want a good conclusion to Spider-Man, it was kind of, he was trying to make everybody happy. And I think because of that, the film didn't turn out the way people were wanting it to look because of the first two films. The first two films took on so much less than what the third film took on. Um, but I really wanted to take this video, guys, just kind of talk about film endings that not a lot of people like to talk about, or just don't talk about, or you don't hear enough of, I think. Um, so leave a comment below. Let me know what a film ending that people really don't look at very much and they should look at more because it's so good. Or maybe there's a film ending you don't like because it doesn't reflect the film so well. Um, so like I said, guys, I'm hoping to make more videos soon. I hope to make a best of 2012 video soon also, like best films of 2012, that from my opinion and my view and from what I saw. So look for that soon, and hopefully I will see you guys here for the next video.